FDA registration renewal deadline for 5,400 Indian food companies is fast approaching. In recent years, the United States Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, has become increasingly vigilant about regulating food safety and ensuring that foreign food companies meet stringent standards. With thousands of Indian food companies exporting to the U.S., one critical regulatory requirement that stands out is FDA registration. To maintain market access, foreign food companies, including those from India, must be registered with the FDA and renew their registration periodically. This video delves into the importance of the US FDA registration renewal deadline for over 5,400 Indian food companies and highlights the key steps involved. The importance of FDA registration for food companies cannot be overstated. The FDA plays a major role in ensuring the safety and quality of the food supply in the United States. As part of its mission, the agency requires that foreign food manufacturers, processors, and packers register their facilities and products with the FDA. This is a requirement under the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act, which mandates that all foreign food establishments that export food to the U.S. must provide detailed information about their facilities, manufacturing processes, and products. FDA registration allows the agency to monitor foreign food companies, track food safety issues, and ensure compliance with U.S. regulations. This registration also helps the FDA in managing potential foodborne illnesses, recalls, and other safety concerns that may arise with imported food products. The FDA registration renewal deadline is something every food facility, including those in India, must pay close attention to. Every 2 years, all food facilities must renew their FDA registration. The renewal deadline is a crucial date for maintaining compliance. If a company misses the deadline, its registration will expire, meaning that the company will no longer be legally authorized to import food products into the U.S. The FDA's registration renewal period typically begins on October 1st and ends on December 31st of each even-numbered year. Therefore, for Indian food companies, this deadline is critical in ensuring continued market access to the U.S. Why 5,400 Indian food companies are affected. India is one of the largest exporters of food products to the United States, with over 5,400 food companies currently registered with the FDA. These companies cover a wide range of food products, including spices, grains, fruits, vegetables, confectionery, and ready-to-eat meals, making India a key player in the global food market. American consumers' preferences trends show growing demand for fresh fruits, beverages, probiotic foods, sugar-free products, organic natural foods, and most importantly, immunity-boosting and healthy foods. The Indian food and beverage industry is experiencing substantial growth, with market size projected to increase to $46.3 billion by 2028. For these 5,400 companies, staying on top of FDA registration renewal is essential. Not only does failure to meet the renewal deadline result in the loss of the ability to export food to the U.S., but it can also lead to delays in shipments, financial losses, and damage to the company's reputation. Many Indian food manufacturers rely heavily on U.S. exports, so missing the registration renewal deadline can be detrimental to their business operations. For Indian food companies, renewing FDA registration is a relatively straightforward process, but it requires careful attention to detail. Here are the key steps involved in the renewal process. First, designate a new U.S. agent or keep the current one. The FDA requires foreign food facilities to designate a U.S. agent when renewing their registration. This agent serves as a liaison between the company and the FDA, receiving and responding to FDA communications on behalf of the company. U.S. agents ensure compliance with FDA regulations, and most companies hire third-party firms to serve as their agents for a fee. Second, as part of the registration renewal, companies are required to review and update their facility information. This includes verifying the company's name, address, and the type of food products being manufactured. Any changes to the facility or the food products being exported to the U.S. must be reflected in the registration. Once all necessary updates have been made, the U.S. agent will submit the renewal application and send you a confirmation. The renewal is typically processed the same day, but it is advisable to submit the application well before the December 31st deadline to avoid last-minute issues. It is important for Indian food companies to keep this confirmation and related files as proof of registration for any future inspections or audits. Penalties for failing to renew FDA registration. Failure to renew FDA registration by the December 31st deadline can result in significant penalties. These penalties can include inability to export. If a company's FDA registration is not renewed on time, it will be unable to legally export food to the U.S. This can disrupt the supply chain and result in financial losses. Increased scrutiny. Companies that fail to renew their registration may face increased scrutiny from U.S. Customs and Border Protection or CBP and other regulatory authorities, leading to delays in shipments and potential fines. Loss of reputation. Non-compliance with FDA regulations can damage a company's reputation, result in a loss of trust among U.S. consumers and buyers. Cause. Why Indian food companies should act early. Given the large number of food companies involved, over 300,000, Indian businesses must start the registration renewal process well ahead of the December 31st deadline. This will allow sufficient time to resolve any potential issues, including discrepancies in the company's information, payment problems, or technical difficulties with the FDA system. Additionally, your U.S. agent and its consultants who specialize in handling FDA registrations can help streamline the process, ensure compliance with U.S. regulations, and minimize the risk of errors. The U.S. FDA registration renewal deadline is a critical date for over 5,400 Indian food companies exporting to the U.S. Missing this deadline can have severe consequences, including the loss of market access and the potential for costly delays. By understanding the steps involved in the renewal process and taking proactive measures, Indian food companies can ensure they remain in compliance with FDA regulations and continue to thrive in the competitive U.S. food market. Indian companies must make it a priority to complete the FDA registration renewal before December 31st, each even-numbered year, to avoid unnecessary disruptions. Taking action well in advance of the deadline will help ensure that these companies can continue to serve the U.S. market without interruption. Visit www.itbholdingsllc.com and use the live support chat 24 hours a day and 7 days a week for any question. A product is misbranded if manufactured or processed in an establishment not duly registered with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Such product may be detained by the FDA, then refused admission. Why take that chance?